Hello everyone, Dr. Victoria Scorbo here, speaking to you from the Seeds of Transformation Healing Center in Wareham, Massachusetts. So today we're going to be doing the tarot scopes for the month of August for the sign of Scorpio, a Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising. I usually do a little astrology before I do the card reading, but I think I'm going to leave the astrology for separate videos. There's a lot of very intense astrological things happening, especially at the end of July to the beginning of August, and I think it deserves its own video for the signs. So hopefully I can get that out for you guys. Otherwise, you can always check out like the week ahead, and that usually the week ahead astrology. That'll usually cover everything. So what is it that we need to know as Scorpio Sun, Scorpio Moon, Scorpio Rising for August? I'm using the Navigators Tarot of the Mystic Sea, and I will be reading from this book. I'll just open up randomly to a page in this book and read what it says. That'll be sort of your oracle message. So let's take a look and see what comes up. I don't feel like these are quite mixed up enough, so let me just keep doing this until it feels right. That's how I decide. How many times do you shuffle? Till it feels right. Of course, Scorpio is a sign that is very intimate with transformation and change. Part of the lessons of the Scorpio is to learn to let go, to trust, which is hard to do because very often Scorpio knows what it feels like to be betrayed. So they're very cautious generally. They like to keep their feelings close. They don't want to give their enemies any fodder for the cannon, right? And yet, how do you do that and still stay open to the beautiful soulfulness that Scorpio brings into your life? The surrender to vulnerability. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, what are we starting with? We have starting with the Five of Cups. We see this person, they're like underwater. They have fallen off the island, I guess. Fallen off their isolated island. Now they're in the big ocean. The Five of Cups is generally about loss and feelings of loss. This person is actually caught in a net and is now underwater because of it. So what situations do you feel trapped in? What situations are preventing you from getting air or being able to save yourself from this sense of entrapment? And very often the Five of Cups is a sadness. And so one of the things that's happening, of course, now is that it seems like everything, all the things that we took for granted as normal, or all the things that we took for granted as what's always going to be there, is going through this shift and this change. It's a very creative time, but it's also a very scary time, and there are a lot of people suffering because of it. And as a water sign, you feel their suffering, and you also tend to keep that to yourself because it's just the nature of Scorpio. There's depth and a swirling and a whirling, and in fact the Five of Cups is a Scorpio card. It's actually connected to the first decan of Scorpio. So you feel a little bit trapped in a situation that that is preventing you from maybe taking a breath of air. Let's see what's challenging that. We have the Knight of Wands here. The Knight of Wands. It's called affiliation. The challenge is to find other people, perhaps, who The challenge is, how do you move forward with spirit when you feel so held down by the sorrow? Let's see what's in the underneath it all. Oh, we have the Eight of Pentacles. The Eight of Pentacles is about doing something over and over again. Working really hard, but maybe not feeling like you're benefiting from the work that you do. In the past, we have the Seven of Cups, which is delusion. Perhaps you were caught in a delusion. This is actually also a Scorpio card. In the past, you have maybe even used alcohol to numb the pain that you feel. Or you imagine a different world so that the harshness of the real world doesn't come in. But it's not realistic. Whatever happened in the past, the ways in which you chose to deal with your feelings were not necessarily always healthy. Let's see what's in the sky. We have suspension, which is the Hanged Man. So this card speaks of knowing what you have control over and knowing what you don't have control over. Knowing what you can affect and knowing what you can't. Having the wisdom to know the difference. And then once you figure out what it is that you do have some level of influence over, to take those steps. It's also connected to being connected to cosmic consciousness. So the deep well of emotion that Scorpio holds can be a little bit, what's the word I'm looking for? Overwhelming, even for the Scorpio themselves. And so one of the things that we learn in Scorpio is that we are not alone, that we are part of a greater sort of soul group. And so it's time for you to connect to that. You need to connect to you're not going to find your answers in the mundane world. You're going to find it in the spiritual world. And that's what Spirit is trying to tell you. You need to utilize your connection to cosmic consciousness and source, because that will change the way you feel about the situation that you're in. We have the Ten of Wands in the immediate future. You have a lot of irons in the fire. You're doing a lot of juggling here. There's a lot of things going on. Some things are falling because you can't handle it. This is the card of the burden bearer. In the other decks, it's the guy who's all humped over and he's got the 10 wands in his hands and they're all disorganized and he's not carrying them very well. And so you need to start putting down some of these. You need to start figuring out what it is that you need to keep into your life and what it is you need to let go of, because you're not going to be able to continue this juggling act that you have. Let's see how other people see you. We have the Ace of Swords. They see you as decisive, very willing to put the sword down if you have to. So you're not seen as somebody who can't make a decision or is wishy-washy about anything. And that would be true. That would be true. Your domestic situation, we have the Two of Swords. That's interesting because I think it was the Cancer reading. The Two of Swords also came up. The Two of Swords is about bridging two sides of things. But it's about finding a center point. Being okay, perhaps not to make a decision about something. And just waiting. It's like waiting for the right moment. So if there's something happening in your home or something, I feel like it's less about the action that you take. I think the only real important action at this time is to start unburdening yourself from all the things that you've taken on. Hopes and fears, the Three of Cups, friendship, amity, hanging out with people that think like you or love like you, or common common feelings with others, more like in a friendship, a sisterhood perhaps, kind of energy, brotherhood, why not, right? Personhood. Outcome is the Page of Pentacles. So, I think that if you start to simplify your life, then you'll know which way to go. You'll get yourself out of the situation that you feel trapped in. And it really has to do, according to these cards, with letting go of the things that you don't have to deal with, taking on less, in a way, responsibility, connecting with your inner self, your source. Don't take any big actions where you're totally changing everything. That's not really the way forward. The way forward is to unburden yourself one by one, follow your inner guidance as you connect to spirit, and the path will become more evident as the month. By the end of the month, you'll know where to step. You'll know where to step. It's a learning. You'll be on a new journey of learning. Let's see if we can pull a major arcana within 3. Yeah, so we have the Moon card. This is a tough card, man. The Moon card is a lot of emotional ups and downs. But this is also, has to do with the collective. There's a lot of again, suffering that you can feel, and sometimes feel like you're not separate from it, right? But yet, you still have to take the step. Even with the Moon there, you still have to take the step. Underneath it, we have Strength, which says you have the strength. 4 of Swords, which is about resting your mind. And the Page of Wands, new messages coming in. Another page. So, I can't lie to you. It's going to be a challenging month, because it's going to be a challenging month for everybody. And because you're a Scorpio, you feel it. But if you connect with your with cosmic consciousness, you will find a way through. You will find a way through. All right, let me just open to a page in this book here. And this is Opening the Doors Within, 365 Days Meditation from Findhorn. I don't know if you know where Findhorn is. It's in Great Britain. I believe it's in Scotland. It's very interesting if you have an opportunity to read about Findhorn. It's definitely. Okay, so this is what it says. It says, "Be at peace and rest, my love. You have heard these words many times, and you wonder why they have to be repeated. They are like water, very slowly and silently. They wear away the old and find a new way. They go on, gradually sinking deeper and deeper within, until you find they have become a part of you. They are no longer just words, but they live and move and have their being in you, and you find yourself living in them at a perfect peace, resting in my love. Never resent repetition, but be eternally grateful that my love is so great that I am willing patiently and persistently to go on and will never let you go. I have placed my hand upon you, and I have need of you. You have a very special place in my vast overall plan, and I am waiting to reveal it to you when you are ready." I am is the I am consciousness. My hand, my plan, my love is the hand of the divine, the love of the divine. You are loved. You will not be left to drown in an ocean of sorrow. You must connect with your spiritual source. I mean, we all have to do that, honestly. But it's especially true for such a sensitive and loving sign as Scorpio. Well, connect. Find your light and then shine it. Have a wonderful month, everyone. Please stay safe. We're living in interesting times, are we not? Take care. If you would like a reading with me, you can contact me at my website, theseedoftransformation.com. There is a link below. I do astrology, Kabbalah, and numerology readings. A combination of that called a Kabbalistic life reading. If you're wondering what you're here to do, on a soul level, this might be a reading for you. Otherwise, I will see you again next month. If you know a Scorpio that would benefit from these words, send this on to them. Take care, everyone. Much love. Namaste.